Kia ora, this is Arjun Jacob, your friendly and frank licensed New Zealand immigration advisor. As always, coming live from my office here in Hamilton, New Zealand. Yeah, that's what I do for a living, along with the rest of my wonderful team. We provide information and advice to and services to people from different parts of the world who would like to consider to come to New Zealand. Either on a short-term basis for education and work related kind of pursuits, or on a more longer-term basis to become permanent residents and workers of New Zealand. So that's the work my team and I do. And as always, it is a pleasure to be back here again. Last week I was a bit groggy because I had just gone to for a full day trip to Auckland, and then by the time I came back, it was a bit late, and yet I kind of got myself here in front of the camera because it's become a bit of a Tuesday routine now for all of the camera because it's become a bit of a Tuesday routine now for all of us to catch up. And so I thought I'll do it, but man, I was just so groggy last week, and I did also have a couple of brain fades, I think, during my session, but much better today. Back to normal. Back to wearing one of my t-shirts. I guess that's a reflection of the fact that the most exciting thing that happened to me in my life in the last 1 week was that I took my kids to the circus here in Hamilton, and I don't know about them, but I absolutely certainly enjoyed myself being at the circus because it brought back a lot of childhood memories when I would go to the circus with my parents back in India, and so it was amazing. I think I was getting back into a circus after almost about 30 odd years, so it was kind of cool. And I think I was the guy clapping the loudest in that big tent, and especially when those bikes get into the globe and they start going round and round. I mean, absolutely super thrilled about the whole thing. But yeah, that was the most exciting thing that happened to me in my life in the last 1 week. And it was also an interesting reflection on the fact that you people, all of you who are present in those live broadcasts today and on Facebook as well as on YouTube. And that's the other thing, guys. This is coming out on Facebook and YouTube. I'll quickly check to see that. Yeah, YouTube seems to be working fine. Facebook seems to be working fine. And as always, I'm also supported by my wonderful team who are in touch with me on Skype. And we are about 35 odd people now who are spread across different countries. We are present here in New Zealand, of course, which is where AJV Services as a company is headquartered. But then we also have a big bunch of our AJV professional advisors based out of India. And we have one person who shuttles between India and Dubai. So we're a large team of people. And in the recent past, we have also been very fortunate to get some immigration professionals coming and joining us on the team. And so these are professional immigration officers who used to work with the Immigration Department of New Zealand, and they were seeking a career change. And so some of them were seeking an opportunity with us. So we are growing very strongly as a team. We are here in New Zealand to cater to you guys and ensure that we take care of you once you reach New Zealand and be able to provide that continuous ongoing support, including which circus to attend if you're in New Zealand. So that's what it was. And we will be waiting for our questions to come like every week. In the meantime, what I can do is I can do a quick recap of the different changes that are going to happen from the 26th of November 2018. That is going to be the big date. You all need to make a note of it. And there's a very nice bulletin that was put up by the Immigration Department of New Zealand. And it says the New Zealand government is making changes to post study work rights for international students. These changes will come into effect on 26th November 2018, which means basically from on the in the midnight of 25th November, when we tick over into 26th November, these changes will basically come into effect. And basically, it is all about the new regime of post study work visas for international students. So, if you're going to study a qualification at level 7 on the New Zealand qualifications framework, and if you study for at least 30 weeks in New Zealand, these changes will affect you. or if you're studying a level 4 to 6 in New Zealand, and you have studied for at least 60 weeks, then these changes will affect you. Or you have done two qualifications at levels 4 to 6, that you have studied for 30 weeks each in New Zealand, this will affect you. So what's changing is that the post-study work visas will be granted with open work conditions, which means you will not be tagged to. This means, I mean, I'm reading from the bulletin. It says this means that your work visa won't be linked to any employer, and the employer-assisted post-study work visa will no longer exist. You won't need a job offer to get a post-study work visa. I think they're absolutely liberalizing the platform for people like all of you who plan to come to study in New Zealand, right? So that was just a little quick background, as always, while I'm waiting to get some questions here on Facebook and YouTube. And guys, if you are watching this on YouTube, I request you to come on to Facebook, and search for AJV Global. That is our official page, and you will see that that's where this live chat is also streaming at the same time it's happening on YouTube. It's just a lot easier for me to be able to look at one tab and answer questions. So a few of my team members, my wonderful, amazing team members have joined. Hello, gang. Hope all of you are doing well. And Sadiq Anam, who is one of our star students based in Christchurch. Hello, Sadiq. Hope you have been doing well. Sadiq is absolutely one of our standout students. I admire this young person not only for the spirit and the enthusiasm he shows for life as a whole, but I think he's an absolute standout student who came to New Zealand and came into a very good university through the help of AJV services, and he's done a fantastic course at the University of Canterbury, and I think now is going forward and creating his future in New Zealand and establishing himself. So Sadiq is a brilliant role model. I just took the opportunity of talking about him because I see him there with a thumbs up to you as well, Sadiq. And I'm going to get into my first question, and it is from Deepak Pimenta. It says, "Hello, sir. I'm not an AJV student. My question is, how many years I can get on work visa after my study? I got my visa on 10th August, and my course will start on 12th November. I'm going to study level 7 graduate diploma or web design and development and of my Institute of Technology." Deepak, because you got your student visa prior to the rules becoming applicable, so obviously you will be under the you will be eligible for the new policy that has been created. So that's what you will be eligible for. So no problem, because there was also a clause. I don't remember the exact date. It is probably sitting in the FAQ sheet as well, and it says that if you already got your visa approved, and then you will definitely be eligible for the new post-study work visa rules, Deepak. Okay, hope that was useful for you. Good institution choice. Toyohama is a good institution. Rotorua is not a terribly large city, but it is a very good city, and there are a lot of opportunities for part-time work because it is one of the most tourist visited cities in New Zealand. So there's always some part-time work available. So good, but I wish you had also chosen to work with AJV services, because we would, if you were one of our students, you would have got the full 5-star treatment from day one. But not a problem. Even now, if you want to going forward, you want to get some onshore advice about further visas and stuff, please get in touch with us, and we'll be able to help you. Of course, we do have a separate pricing for AJV students and a separate pricing for non-AJV students, and AJV students actually get a lot of free advice from us, as much as information as they want. We keep providing. So that's one of the biggest advantages of working with a company like AJV. All right. So Joyce Johnny asks, "I'm coming to New Zealand to study graduate diploma in tourism management. Is it a good place for my future and scope?" Joyce, this is sometimes I kind of keep repeating the same answers and practically every live session that I do. You've got to bear in mind, Joyce, that New Zealand is a very strongly tourism orientated country, Joyce. And my team has also confirmed, Joyce, that you're planning to come to New Zealand, but you're not coming to New Zealand through AJV, which is a pity because you're actually losing out on a lot of advantages that we could have provided you. But your choice of a course in tourism management is good because as a country, we are a very strong tourism oriented country. So obviously, you're coming into an environment which will provide you with the right platform to study your particular subject. But as I keep saying, your biggest challenge will be after you land here, who is going to advise you? Because the advice that your education institution can give you is quite limited. If you want to talk about further visas and whether an employment agreement is right or not, if there are other issues that pertain to your study, then you need a onshore advisor like us. You know, in New Zealand, there is myself. Then we have a senior manager called Mary. Then we have another customer service manager called Virginia, who, by the way, is an ex-immigration officer of New Zealand, but she is now working with us part-time as a customer service manager. Then we have Prakash, who works with us, who is one of our ex students to whom we gave a full time job opportunity. So he works with us full time and he also assists the team onshore. So you will have people talking to you continuously all the time. And, you know, for all you guys who are coming to New Zealand and not coming through HAV, quite frankly, you're missing out on a very, very big element of strength that you guys get. I mean, in fact, I started today's broadcast by talking about Sadiq, who is one of our students. Every time Sadiq or any of our students have a doubt or a query, they type to us or email us or text us or call us, and we're constantly on the phone talking to them and giving them the best advice that we guys can give. So, Joyce, you might want to rethink about your agency because your course choice is good, your country choice is good, but I have very big doubts about your agency choice. So you might want to rethink choice. Okay, cool. Vikas Sharma. Hi, Arun. I sent you my resume a couple of days back. Wanted to check HR related courses. What is the future scope? Would HR related courses lead to PR later in New Zealand? Because thanks for sending me your CV. I'm sorry if I did not address it immediately because I do get a lot of emails, guys. You know, it's not just emails. I get emails, I get phone calls, I get text messages, I get Facebook inbox messages. Then there are comments on YouTube. So unfortunately, sometimes I'm not able to stay on top of all your messages. So apologies to not just Vikas but everybody else if there was a delay in response from my side, which is the reason we are now expanding and making our team stronger and stronger because this can't be a one-man show any longer because the number of clients we are dealing with, the number of issues we're dealing with has become much more. So we are 35 people in the team at the moment. So we will definitely get back to you, Vikas. So, but sorry about the delay. Coming back to your question about HR related courses, what is the future scope? I mean, HR within the business area, of course, HR is a very specific branch of business, and like how you would have administration, you would have finance, you would have sales and some marketing, or sometimes some companies even break it down separately into sales and into marketing. Like AJV Services, we are a small company, we are not a lot of people, but we have a very separate marketing department, and then we have a very separate sales department. We have an admin department. So likewise, HR is a very specific area within business. And my advice to you, Vikas, is yes, the scope is always there. Why not? HR obviously would have a scope like any other business vertical or business department. It will have. But if you are young and you're just starting off and you don't have experience in HR, but then I don't recommend that you get yourself into something so specific only into HR if you don't have the prior experience. But if you have 2 or 3 years of experience already as a HR professional and you understand some um, things about HR, then probably it's a good idea to specialize in HR. Because interestingly, and this is something I want to discuss about people who are planning to do an HR thing. I met one of my clients as a very senior HR professional from India, and by senior I mean very, very, very senior. He was the vice president of one of the largest companies in India, and he was the head of that HR department. And he came to New Zealand, and he had a very interesting observation to make. He said, "Yes, I have a lot of experience in HR in India, but here, unfortunately, sometimes I was not totally relevant or familiar with the HR, human resources and employment law specific to New Zealand employment. So that's why I was sometimes on the back foot. So that's an angle you might want to consider as well, because and I think instead of getting yourself very specifically into HR, if you're not a very experienced person, my recommendation always is to broaden it up a little bit, like get into a business course which has got papers in HR, it's got papers in administration and finance and sales and marketing, so on and so forth, so that it covers all the full range of business, the departments involved in business. And in doing a more generic course, what happens is you also maximize your chances of getting a job in one of these areas in future. And whether it leads to PR or not is always directly dependent to what job you get in New Zealand, whether it is relevant to the course you have done, and whether you're getting the required position and the required salary. So that's what it is all about, Vikas. So to cut a long story short, if you have background in HR, yeah, good idea. Come for a course specifically in HR. If you don't have a lot of background in HR and you're kind of still a rookie and just starting up in it, then I would recommend to get into something a bit more broader. All right, Vikas, hope I've answered your question. And once again, sorry I did not respond back to you your earlier email. Like I said, just too many emails and stuff. But I hope I was able to answer your question now. All right. Cool. Ramandeep, hi sir. I want to know student visa process of New Zealand embassy. Mahal Ramandeep. Okay. The process is quite simple. Why I'm smiling, by the way, is because right now working in our AJV team are some of my colleagues who are actually ex-immigration officers of the immigration department of New Zealand. So they probably would be better people to answer to you how the entire process works, and that's why I was smiling. But hey, look, by and large, the process is quite simple. You work with a good agency like AJV, who have a very high success rate. Last year, we guys had 89% success rate, and this year, I'm sure my team is going to bring us about the 90% range, and also the number of applications we are working with is going up. So what you do is you approach a good agency like us, and then we'll help you with the entire process. So we'll get you your admission. After we get your admission, we'll give it to you. You will go and procure your bank loan, perhaps, do your medical test, do your police checks, and all those things. Submit all those documents to us. We will then go through the whole thing again, ensure everything is right, and that our explanation about your case is perfect, so that when a visa officer looks at it, that's all an easy to read and understand application or a file. And then we lodge it online, and then we will respond back to immigration New Zealand in case they have any queries. Sometimes they might call you and do an interview, and once you do that, they give you something called approval in principle, after which you pay the fees to the institution in New Zealand. And again, all that is handheld by our team. And once the fee is paid, we get the fee receipt, send it back to the visa officer, who will then they've stopped stamping visas nowadays, by the way. So they just send you an email letter like a PDF, which is your e-visa. So New Zealand is moving into e-visa. So that is the entire process now. So I recommend that if you're seriously planning to consider coming to New Zealand, then I would recommend that you seriously get in touch with us. If you are based in India, which I think you are reading from your name, I think it will be easy for you to call 1-800-103-6525. This is a toll-free number, guys. There is a toll-free number we've set up in India for all our clients, because the majority of our clients come from India, but we do work with clients from different parts of the world. So we are not kind of working only with Indian students and clients. We work with everybody, but hey, look, India being one of the most populous countries, and considering that's where I originally come from and most of my team comes from, we do work with a lot of Indian clients. But we've been very fortunate and blessed to also have clients from China, from Singapore, from Philippines, from UAE, from Africa, some coming out of Europe now. We've worked with clients from Brazil. So we work with clients from everywhere. But if you're based in India, where majority of our clients and students are based, please call 1-800-103-6525. That's our toll-free number we've set up in India. Or you can email info@ajvglobal.com, put your CV, share some details, and we will come back to you immediately. All right? Okay, Ajat Francis wants to know, is 2 years cookery course leads to PR? Interesting question, Ajat, because there is actually a very uh, stipulation now in the immigration department, instructions as they call, um, which says that to be eligible for a residency in New Zealand, you will need to have either a job in New Zealand, skilled employment in New Zealand, or an offer of skilled employment in New Zealand, or you need to have studied in New Zealand for at least 2 years and have achieved the master's or a doctorate. So the 2 years query is quite interesting because but I don't think there is a 2 years cookery course at the master's level in New Zealand, or perhaps there is. I can't recollect a 2 years master's in cookery. So because it's more like a practical thing that you do. So it's more at the diploma levels, and there would be bachelor's, of course. So your 2 years cookery course in itself will not lead you to the residency or the PR, as most of you tend to call it. PR is actually again a two-step process. You first get your residency, then you fulfill certain conditions, mostly by staying in New Zealand, and then you get something called your PR or your permanent residence. So it's actually a two-step process, guys. But I know I'm now used to the fact that most of you like to call it PR, which is like the big end goal. In fact, sometimes I think that I should have AJV Services New Zealand and have a tagline which says the New Zealand PR people or something like that. But so the course in itself will not lead you to your PR. So you'll need to finish your course. You will need to find a relevant job at the right position, and you'll need to earn a salary of $50,523 in an year to be eligible to reach that level of salary where you can then make a residency application. So if you haven't mentioned, Ajit, whether you're planning to come to New Zealand through AJV or you're working with some other agency, but if you're working with somebody else, obviously we can't help you other than give you this free advice. But if you come to New Zealand through AJB, then what we can do is we can connect you with a lot of our students who have already completed their cookery courses and are working in New Zealand right now. In fact, recently I met one of them at the petrol bunk when I went to fill in some gas into my car, and he said, "Hey, look, I'm now planning to join the New Zealand Navy as a chef on one of the ships." So it's quite amazing. I think our students who have come as chefs to New Zealand are or chefs course are doing really well. And if you come to New Zealand through us, Ajit, we would love to connect you to some of our students and kind of create that platform for you to ensure that you move forward into the next stage, which is to find a relevant job. We do a free post-study work visa process for all our students. So really, guys, it's all on a platter. We provide you with templates of CVs. We provide you with templates of cover letters. We will network you with all our students. If you go back to my Facebook page or group or my personal ID, you will see there were photos of our get-togethers where we keep meeting and networking. So all those advantages are there not only for Ajit but for everybody else who's planning to come to New Zealand and chooses to work with AJV. That's what we guys can do for you. All right, cool. So please do consider coming to New Zealand to us, Ajit. And cookery, I think, is a good choice because we get a lot of people as tourists to New Zealand, and they need to eat, so somebody's got to cook for them. Plus, we here in New Zealand, the local Kiwis and New Zealanders and residents and citizens also like to go out and eat. So yeah, absolutely, cooks are always in demand. Usman Zahid asks about executive MBA. Good question, Usman, because executive MBA, if you mean by like you want to do a distance course or just do a few blocks and then be able to get it, I think there is a possibility, Usman. In fact, I live in the city of Hamilton, which is where the University of Waikato is also based, and I think it's got one of the best MBAs in the country, and it's some of our students who've been in it absolutely talk very, very highly about it. So, and I believe they also have some executive MBA kind of a course. So, we would love to assist you with that, Usman. But I do believe there is a possibility. Depends on what exactly you're looking at. Do you want to be here in New Zealand on a long-term basis, on a full-fledged visa, or do you want to keep coming and doing those blocks because you're already working? Because from your question, it appears that you're already a working professional and you just want to get an executive MBA. So we will need to analyze and see whether we can put you into a course where you're required to come into New Zealand, or whether you're able to stay in the country where you are and also get a New Zealand degree and an MBA. I mean, those possibilities also exist. So we would like to get in touch with you, Usman. So please email your CV to info@ajvglobal.com, or if you're based in India, just call 1-800-103-6525, and one of our team members will get in touch with you, gather more information, and then all of us, and like I told you, we are a big team of people, we are a big team of professionals. We will, kind of ensure that your course choice is right, your city choice is right, your cost choice is right, and your future career choices, right? So for all that, so it's CCCC, course, career, college, cost. You'll need to choose the right C, which is the right consultant. So talk to AJB and we guys will put you on the right track. All right. Okay, Sadek has written, a big part of the credit goes to the AGB team for my success. Thanks for the genuine advice and help during application. Just want to give you the good news that I graduated last month with a master degree in construction management. Well done, Sadek. Congratulations, Kapai, well done. Kapai is well done in Maori language, by the way, guys. For those of you who don't follow the language, I speak a little bit of Maori. That's one of my certificates there, which where I went to, like all of you, I went to school and learned Maori as well. So Sadiq is one of our, we are very proud to have him as one of our students. I find him very, very energetic. I find him absolutely brutally honest. And if Sadiq has written that, saying that thanks for the genuine advice and help during application, I will take it as a compliment, because Sadiq is one of those people who can shoot you down very, very quickly. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sadiq, but Sadiq is the type of guy who he's a no nonsense guy. And if we did not deal well with him, I think he would be writing out there saying, don't trust these guys, don't trust this company. But getting that appreciation back from Sadiq means that we are doing our jobs well, and that we are pleasing good clients and high quality clients like Sadiq. So thanks for that feedback, Sadiq. Many congratulations for completing your master's from the University of Canterbury. Fantastic course choice from an amazing university, and we are very proud to have you as our student, Sadiq. And I also saw you being featured on the university website and some of the other materials. So really, really proud of you. Heads off. Please get in touch with Virginia and Mary if you need any further support going forward. If you want to get your post-study work visa, Sadiq, we are giving a free post-study work visa process to all AGV students. So please get in touch with Mary and we can get that done for you. But well done. And the next time I'm in Christchurch, I will definitely come by and see you. And if you also want to get connected to some of our students who are already working in the construction industry here in Auckland and other places, please drop an email to Mary or speak to her or with Virginia, and they'll connect you to these students as well. But all the very best, and I wish you good success going forward in New Zealand. You're going to have 3 years post-study work visa anyway. So for a guy with your caliber and your knowledge and your intelligence, I think you will absolutely surely establish yourself in one of our critically short areas in New Zealand, like construction management. So all the very best. Banala Samuel says, hi, Aaron. Very nice to see the live session. Got your email and we'll get in touch with your team shortly. Thanks, Samuel. Appreciate your feedback. Yeah, and I'm glad that you like these live sessions. The whole idea is to sit here and be as honest and as frank and as friendly as we can be. I think the rest of my team are pretty much clones of who I am, because we're all the same guys. We will just sit here, whether it's on those live sessions or on the phone or on our emails or wherever. We're just very brutally honest. We are frank. We will tell you just the way it is. And if it can be done, we will tell you it can be done. If it can't be done, we will tell you it can't be done. And we will tell you, don't waste your time, money, and effort. So thanks for appreciating the work we're doing, Samuel, and everybody else. Thank you for your support, everybody. Because I've already answered your question, so I'm scraping that. Arjun Palakil asks, is it possible to get a student visa in 1 month? May I know more details about the student visa process time? Arjun, absolutely possible to get a visa in 1 month's time. And I think it's important that you present your student visa, and you said you wanted more details about the student visa process. I already spoke briefly about what the student visa process is. About 10 minutes back into this broadcast, I actually spoke about all the different steps. The process is quite simple, and I think the presenting that visa application file to the immigration department of New Zealand is the most critical thing, and which is where you need to choose a good advocate, a good consultancy, a good agency like AJV, because we are all professionals. Let's say I'm a licensed immigration advisor, that's my license there. One of our senior managers is about to get a license. We are about to hire another full-time licensed immigration advisor in New Zealand, or a full license holder. We have 4 or 5 of our colleagues who are ex-immigration officers. So we are all thoroughbred professionals who know how a visa application needs to be presented, not based on anything other than the sheer facts. But sometimes certain facts need to be highlighted, certain weaknesses need to be explained, certain other issues. But we will never ever put any documents which are not genuine, and we present good, solid applications to the immigration department of New Zealand, and they are called uh, decision ready files. So as much as possible, we put those decision ready files in front of a visa officer. And because we already have a very, very good track record with the student visa team of Immigration New Zealand, they when they see an application coming under the letterhead of HAV services, they know that a lot of good work already went into that application. So you guys will also get the benefit of doubt of being represented by a good agency which has never compromised on its integrity or its honesty. And that's the respect we get back from the visa officers as well, because they realize that, we are kind of co-stakeholders in the entire process. So that's really your visa process, Arjun. So I think the most important component and element in the visa process is to ensure that you're working with the right agency and the right consultant who can present it the right way and maximize your benefits and minimize any drawbacks that you have in your visa application. That's really the way it has to be done. Okay. So that's what we do. You haven't mentioned, Arjun, whether you're working with AJB or not, but if you're not working with us, I would strongly recommend and encourage you to work with us, because you get the advantage of this collective knowledge and experience of so many professionals who worked in the immigration department or have a license from the government of New Zealand. And so now you get the collective benefit and wisdom and experience of all these people. All right. So please come and work with us, Arjun. And as I told you, it's very simple to work with us. Pick up the phone, and this is a toll free number, so it will not even cost you any money. Just call 1-800-103-6525, and that's pretty much it. And your process will start, and we will take care of everything. But if you don't want to make a phone call, what you need to do is you can just email to info@ajvglobal.com, and then we'll pick it up from there. All right. Okay. Ratandeep Singh asks, "Hey, may I know what's your WhatsApp number, sir?" Ratan, I'm not on WhatsApp, strangely enough, because I don't know. I mean, I'm from that weird generation where we I like technology, but I don't really like social media too much. And sometimes I don't like this too much of connectedness, if I can say that. It must be that might be a bit ironical coming from a guy who is right now coming live on Facebook and YouTube. But I mean, if you guys look at it, I do it professionally for my professional reasons, and of course, if for the same professional reasons, I also should be on WhatsApp, I guess. But my entire team is on WhatsApp, and we also set up this number, the toll free number called 1-800-103-6525, which is our toll free number in India. So please connect with them, Ratan, because that's your first point of contact. And so, because see, I'm about 5 or 6 layers above in my organization. So under me, I have two senior managers. One senior manager looks after all the operations in India. One other senior manager looks after all the operations in New Zealand. The senior manager sitting in India, her name is Nishanti. She has got a service manager who is an ex-immigration officer, and then she's got two sales team leaders, and then each of those sales team leaders have about 10 people working in their team, and some of them are senior advisors, and some of them are frontline advisors, and then the service team again has got two team leaders who again come from an immigration background, and then they have the team. So we have a lot of layers, Ratandeep, and if something has to come to my attention, it will definitely keep getting bumped up that channel and ladder for sure. Don't worry about that. But I know a lot of you guys would love to, reach out and speak to me personally and get my personal advice as much as I would love to speak to each and every one of you individually. Unfortunately, constraints of my time and my effort. Uh, I'm also a father to three young children, so all their work and taking them around and things like that also doesn't give me the amount of time that I require. But also, I stay out of the front line except doing this live interactions because out of respect for my own team members, because each and every team member of mine is a thoroughbred professional. We have picked them and chosen them to be part of AJV because we know how good they are. So please pick up the phone and call 1-800-103-6525 and you will get all the information that you want. And that information trickles down from the top to the bottom. So you will are always assured of good information. And I promise you, we will definitely get to meet personally after you come to New Zealand because I love to go out and meet all of my students after they come to New Zealand. So we organize these get-togethers in different cities. I think my onshore team, onshore senior manager, is about to organize a get-together in Hamilton. We just did one in Auckland, and then we plan to do some in Nelson, Napier, and all the other different places. So we will definitely interact, but for the time being, request you to just pick up the phone and speak to one of my team members. All right. All right. Hi, sir. RK Lama says, "Hi, sir. Just little inquiry. If I apply graduate diploma in professional accountant Auckland, gets 1 or 2 years post-study work visa because I'm confused about additional year for those pursuing towards professional body. Thanks. Good question, Lama. You have again not mentioned whether you're working with us and not working with us, and my team just confirms Lama, that you are talking to one of my colleagues called Suresh, and that we are still waiting to get your contact details. Don't be shy. Please give your contact details. We will not track you down and come to your home and demand lunch and dinner. I promise you that on behalf of my team. But very good question about whether if you study in Auckland, if you're going to do a graduate diploma, if you're coming before, I don't think you're coming before 26th November. So obviously, the new rules will apply to you. So, what's going to happen is if you're going to come and study in Auckland, you are going to get 1 year. But if you're going to work towards registration with a professional body, and if you're going to do a course in professional accounting and you're going to work for a registration towards NZICA or one of those other professional industry bodies, which has to be recognized by the Immigration Department of New Zealand. So it just can't be some, like for instance, I have a lot of certificates here on my wall, and some of them are my memberships from different professional bodies, but all of them are not recognized by Immigration New Zealand as bodies relevant to the migration side of things. So I think you need to have a chat with our team, Lama. Maybe if I were you, I would remove that uncertainty out of 1 year or 2 year post study work visa by opting to do a course outside Auckland, because that's very clearly now mentioned in the new rules that's about to change, which is that if you're going to do a graduate diploma outside Auckland, then you're getting an additional 1 year, so you're assured of getting a 2 years post study work visa. So if your concern is, will I get a 2 years post study work visa, then why do you want to study in Auckland then? Have that doubt at the back of your head all the time while you're studying, but because that professional body may or may not be recognized by Immigration New Zealand. So it's a slightly messy situation. My advice to you, just do the same course but study it outside Auckland. So then you're very clearly going to be eligible for a 2 years post study work visa, and that would be my sincere advice to you. And the other advice to your Lama, because you're already trying to get in touch with my team, you're speaking to my colleague called Suresh. Please share your contact details so that we can speak to you. And so sometimes if I'm in a good mood, I might pick up the phone and give you a call myself. All right. Cool. Okay. Saujanya asks. Saujanya is one of our clients. Hi, Saujanya. Hope you're doing well in Nelson. Motueka to be precise. Hope you're doing great. Can you please throw some insights with regard to recent interim visa updates? Thanks. Good question, Saujanya, because I think the interim visa was one of those weird areas of immigration law where very few people had any control over it, because first and foremost you can't apply for an interim visa. An interim visa is granted when you're applying for a further visa, and if it is not being able to be adjudicated or approved before the completion of your existing visa, then the immigration department would automatically give you something called an interim visa. And I think more often than not, it was also getting triggered automatically by the IT system of the Immigration Department of New Zealand. So, good point you raised is that a lot of times what was happening was that somebody was on, let's say, somebody was on a, what's the date today? Today is the 4th of September. So, let's say somebody's supposed the somebody's student visa expired on 1st of September, and they had applied for the post study work visa. And so basically on 1st of September, the student visa was over, and the system would have automatically generated an interim visa, which gave them a legal status to be in New Zealand till the post study work visa was being looked at. But sometimes if the post study work visa got declined, almost immediately the person became unlawful because his actual visa had expired before. But I think I didn't read it very clearly, but I was just going through the latest update we got from Immigration New Zealand. I think now what they're doing is they're making it like a 21-day period after a decision is made on your pending visa application. So the validity of the interim visa stays for 21, which I think is very good. I think it's very kind of Immigration New Zealand. It's very generous, and it sits in with their first principle, which is fairness and natural justice. That that you're treating everybody fairly. I love the fact that they also treat their applicants as clients, and I'm a pretty big fan of Immigration New Zealand. I'm not saying it because I my team and I we send applications to them, but I've genuinely liked the way Immigration New Zealand has done its work, because I've been in this industry for the last 15 years, and if I were not happy with the processes or the thoughts that run Immigration New Zealand, I wouldn't be in this business. Why would I, sell my soul or break my integrity to be in an industry where the main body is not being fair? But I think they are very fair, and I think so. That's why the latest update they've done about the interim visas, I think, is very good. So, good news for all of you who are on interim visas and wondering, oh, what happens to me as soon as in the unfortunate event that your visa gets declined, do you become unlawful immediately? No, with the new setting that they're coming out with to the instructions, obviously you will have about 21 days to um, go on and lodge another application, or have enough time to tie up all your loose ends and get on a plane and go back home. All right. Hope you guys are doing well, Saujanya. Good to catch up with you again. Yeah, I'll get on the phone and say hi to you one of these days. Guys, by the way, Saujanya is another very enterprising and very inspirational people who has arrived into New Zealand and who has taken on a lot of personal and professional challenges to keep unraveling this whole education migration not very well. And we are proud to be part of her journey. And thanks for choosing us as well, Saujanya. Vikas Sharma, thanks a lot. Would like to speak to you in future to know the process how to start up. Vikas, thank you for asking the question and giving me the opportunity to answer. You don't have to wait. Just pick up the phone and call 1-800-103-6525. If you're present in India, if you're not in India, just send an email to info@ajvglobal.com and start your process. And don't have to wait, guys, because not just to Vikas, but to anybody else who's wondering, is this the right time for me to get in touch with AJV? Or should I wait till something else happens in my life and then I should get in touch? Don't wait, because we don't charge you any money for, I'm not charging you to watch my live session right now. So I mean, that was a joke, guys. But I'm just saying, there's nothing, what's wrong in picking up a phone? I mean, today, for instance, I was planning to rent you say this office where I'm working from right now. It's one of my office in my house, which is a big house. And I was planning to, hopefully in the next 2 or 3 months, sell this house and, no, not sell this house, rent this house and go and buy another house and move into that. But I did not wait till I, bought that other house. I started doing inquiries about how much rent will I get for this, what kind of people will come, how much will that property management company charge me if they have to manage it for me. So not just pick up the phone and get information, gather it, and keep it. And as I keep saying all the time, my team and I, we are not bloodsuckers. We are not Draculas in disguise. We will not come and suck your blood. I promise you that. We are just people who will give you the best information that you want. And after that, you like it, you take it. You don't like it, don't take it. We can be good friends. Come back and watch my live sessions and share it with your family and friends and keep liking and subscribing. And I'll still be happy about it. All right, guys. So don't wait too long because the education migration pathway is very long and there are a lot of twists and turns, a lot of humps and jumps, and so you've got to start as early as you can. And you might start, you might work on it for 7, 8 months, and then decide to drop it and go and do something else. Does not matter because that's our job. We are here to provide you to run our business. We will need to speak to all of you, and out of that, only 40 or 50 out of 100, every 100 people we speak to, only 40 or 50% might decide to actually come to New Zealand. So be it. But we will be faithful, we will be honest, we will be truthful, and we will absolutely be attentive to everybody who wants to connect with us. So that's why we set up this toll free number as well, 1-800-103-6525. So give us a call or email info@ajvglobal.com. Don't wait, just get started because it doesn't cost you any money anyway. So you have nothing to lose. And if anybody from AJV you think is troubling you too much, switch the bloody phone off or put a block on that number. The end of story. All right, cool. Harjit Dahia asks me, sir, is there any scope of diploma of web development and design? Good question, Harjit. The scope is definitely there because obviously, diploma of web development and design would come under, the creative side of it. It would also come under the IT side of it, and it will come under the web technologies side of it. So I think definitely the scope is there, and I'm not trying to reach out too far and connect too many things, but we all live in a digital world. Look at me. I'm sitting in Hamilton and talking to you guys digitally through Facebook and YouTube. And I have so many bloody digital things around me. One phone, two phone, or a tablet somewhere. We're all digital. So, and to create those presences online, the websites, the apps, so on and so forth. Absolutely, I think the demand is going to grow, Harjit. But we need to know a little bit more about your background in terms of what exactly have you done. Do you have experience? Are you a fresher? Are you just starting in it? I also, the other interesting, and this is not a reference to you, Harjit, I'm just stating it. I've noticed because I work with a lot of website developers in the past. For some strange reason, those guys are very good with their technical skills, but not very good in English skills. So again, I don't want to kind of make it like a generic statement, but I look, it has been my observation when I kind of work with a few web designers. So we would like to talk to you, assess your English capability, your background, what you did before. Perhaps just instead of a diploma, we might be able to bump you up and put you into something which has also got other elements and not just purely web development and design. It might have a few other elements which will broaden your base to be able to get a career in the future. But overall, purely as a subject, absolutely the scope for web development and design is always there. Harjit, please get in touch with us if you're not already in touch with us. My team member Sai is typing something. I hope he types and says that you're already in touch with us. But if you're not in touch with us, pick up the phone and call 1-800-103-6525 or just email your CV uh, to info@ajvglobal.com and we will get in touch with you and give you more advice. All right. Okay. Right. Singh asks the next question. Singh Harkiret. Kiret. Okay. Sir, I'm applying for Toi Ohomai Institute in Tauranga, so please tell about part-time jobs in Tauranga and my course is civil engineering. Good question. And Singh, I also got confirmation from Sai, my team member, that you're talking to Ruben, another one of my colleagues back in India, and they've written that you want to do a 2-year diploma in New Zealand, and that your brother in New Zealand is already in touch with our onshore team. Excellent. Welcome to the party, Singh. Thank you so much for choosing to work with AJV. Really appreciate that because you have a lot of choice, but you chose to work with us. And I promise the team and I, we will all stand by you and help you in your journey. Coming back to your question, is Toy Ohomai Institute a good institution? Absolutely, because Toy Ohomai Institution uh, Toi Ohomai is now it's an amalgamation of two previous institutions called Bay of Plenty Polytechnic, and then there used to be another institution called Wairiki Institute of Technology. I'm, by the way, that certificate you see there is from Bay of Plenty Polytechnic, where I did my, my studies in New Zealand immigration advice. So I'm also technically a Toyo Homai student now. Very good institution, owned and operated by the government of New Zealand. So these two polytechnics came together, consolidated, and created a much larger institution called Toy Ohomoi. Very good institution, like I said, owned and operated by the government of New Zealand. So no problems with the authenticity of the institution or their ability to deliver and take care of the students. Very good choice. Tauranga is a beautiful city. It is one of the fastest growing cities in New Zealand, by the way, right now. And the property prices are going absolutely mental in Tauranga right now. And after Auckland, apparently, it's got the highest growth in terms of of people and homes and stuff. So good choice. Not to mention, it's an incredibly beautiful city, and we get a lot of tourists, the cruise ships that come and dock in Tauranga. So the ones doing the Pacific Circle, going to all the Pacific islands, they come and dock in Tauranga as well. So your ability to find part-time jobs in Tauranga will be pretty good because it's a very strongly tourism-driven economy. Plus, now with the boom in construction and stuff, there is always opportunity for casual part-time workers and stuff like that. So I don't think you will suffer for part-time workers. And let me relate that also to your civil engineering. As I told you, Tauranga is growing amazingly big time as a city. In fact, Hamilton, where I live, and Tauranga are the two closest big cities after Auckland in the North Island. So, which is where a lot of people from Auckland are moving out of Auckland and coming into Hamilton and into Tauranga because the property prices in Auckland have gone totally crazy. So, a lot of people are opting to buy in Hamilton and in Tauranga, because of which there are a lot of construction activities happening. I've been searching for a new house over the last couple of weeks, and I'm blown away by the amount of new houses being constructed in Hamilton, about 5 minutes from here where I sit. So that's north and that's south. So north of Hamilton is growing totally crazy. I couldn't believe the number of houses that have come up. So a lot of jobs available in construction activity and all that. And that's the reason civil engineering is also in our long-term skill shortage area at the moment, because we require people in the civil engineering to be able to contribute to our construction growth and create more homes and everything else. So good course choice, good institution choice, good city choice, excellent subject choice, and fantastic choice with AJV as well. Well done. And we will meet in person once you come here, Singh. We'll catch up. I'll use you as an excuse to come to Tauranga and have a little holiday there. Holiday there. All right. Right, Hanimesh Bista, how tough is it to convert visit visa into work permit? All right, Hanimesh, it's as difficult. I mean, the difficulty level will depend depends on whether you find a relevant job. But I just got some information from my team, Animesh, that you have some adverse immigration history in another country. So that might be an issue as it is, because no immigration department likes to have people who have kind of not adhered to the visa rules of other countries. So that might be an issue for you. Overall, converting a visit visa to a work visa is directly related to whether you can find a relevant job to your qualification and to your background, and being able to clear the police clearances and the medical clearances and that sort of thing. If you can clear all that, definitely you'll be able to convert a visitor visa into work visa. But a lot of employers are not very keen to provide an employment offer to somebody on a visit visa, because a lot of employers are not immigration professionals like me, so they do not understand immigration law, and so they're not wanting to take a chance with somebody who is not on a proper regular visa here in New Zealand. So that's a drawback you have. But I think in your case, the biggest drawback is the fact that you have some adverse immigration history in UK. So because of that, I think you might be in trouble because there is something called character, issue as well when an application is being looked at. So I have a feeling you're going to have some trouble there. All right. So I Arjun Palakil. Guys, can you confirm if Arjun is one of our students because he's asking me a question whether it's possible to get a visa and join my class which starts in October 2nd. Arjun, I'm not sure if you're working with AJB or not. You have not mentioned. You've asked me a question. Can be done if you're an AJB student. We could possibly, if there is a genuine emergency, we could probably, talk to some of the officers we know inside Immigration New Zealand and request them. But you have not mentioned whether you're working with AJB or not. Please mention that so that I can answer your question better. And team, if you can also confirm to me if Arjun Palakil, that's with a double K and a double E, just check and let me know if he's one of our students, and then we'll answer his question. All right. Siddharth Pandya wants to know what is the scope of operations management there. Are not very good for people who are not having experience in operations management side of things. Siddharth. So that's what I like to say, because a lot of consultancies and agencies, they very liberally and generally say, hey, look, go do this course operation, and a lot of people fall for it because operations management sounds very cool and it sounds like you're doing something very happening and things, but you got to be a little careful because to be an operations manager you need to have certain amount of experience. Say today I'm essentially, besides being the spokesperson for AJB, really what is my role? My role really is of being an operations manager because, like I said, we are not a small team. We are 35 people. We are spread across two, three different countries. We have different departments. We have marketing. We have sales. We have service. We have onshore. We have offshore. We have, all these complexities are there. And, I'm a guy who's about to turn 50. So at my level and my age and my experience, operations management would kind of begin to fit in a bit more clearly. I'm not saying it won't fit in for a lot younger people, but you need to have at least 4, 3, 4, 4, 5 years of experience before you can call yourself an operations manager. Because if you have not been involved with operations at all, how can you become an operations manager? Is my question. So you got to be a little careful before jumping into things like operations management and things like that. See, I'm all right with people who have a civil engineering background to get into something like construction management because it is still constructions management. Operations management probably also would be all right for somebody with a mechanical engineering background who want to add in. But ideally, if you are a technical guy and you are not very experienced, I would recommend stick to the technical. So if you're, for instance, a mechanical engineer, rather than getting into operations management, you might want to look at a course in mechanical engineering, which will specifically build your strength in one particular area of mechanical engineering. So that's my take on these fancy sounding courses. But hey, look, it's good for people who have some experience, definitely. V. Prakash asks, my son wants to do a master's in hospitality and tourism. Is there any scope for him to PR? How much I have to amount show in bank statement? He did 2 years master's degree. Please assist. Thanks in advance. Hi Prakash, thanks for asking a question. I understand what it means to be a parent. I have grown up children as well, so I completely understand your concern as a parent of sending a child overseas. And the scope for hospitality and tourism, Prakash, because I was just talking to some other person who asked me a question about tourism. It will be good in a country like New Zealand because we are a very, very strongly tourism driven economy. In fact, tourism is our largest industry here in New Zealand. So if somebody is going to come and do a master's in hospitality and tourism, I think they'll very be highly regarded and wanted in that particular industry. After doing a master's, he might have to start off at the front line, but so be it, because not everybody will jump straight into a manager's role and things like that. But overall, the choice of hospitality and tourism in New Zealand is very good. I would strongly encourage it. Is there a scope for PR? Absolutely, why not? Because if he's going to do a master's And if it's a 2 years master's degree, is also ticking off that box for the immigration rule, which says one of the prerequisites is that you need to do a master's for 2 years and get or a PhD for 2 years. So that's a very good course choice. So after he completes his course, he will get a 3 years post-study work visa for sure. So in that 3 years for post-study work visa, he can pick up a relevant job, and once he crosses that $50,523 mark, he would then be able to make a resident visa application, which will lead to PR. If he is coming to New Zealand as one of our students, as an AJV student, Prakash, then you don't have to worry about your son, because we become basically a surrogate family here in New Zealand. So if you're serious about sending your son to New Zealand, please send him through AJV, because then we are all here to take care of him. And I keep telling when I meet my students, when I go to do my one-on-one meetings and get-togethers in Auckland and other cities. I meet these young students and tell them, guys, call back home tonight and let mom and dad know that you're being taken care of and that they can relax as parents now. So that's sort of the assurance that we can give to a lot of our students who come here. So please consider working with us, Prakash. As regards how much bank money to show, statements and all that, Prakash, I think better people to explain that would be my visa processing team, which is based in India. And as I told you, it is headed by an ex-immigration officer of New Zealand, and there is another officer, ex-immigration officer of New Zealand, who is a team leader in that team, and hopefully another one of them will be joining us very shortly. So it's a very, very super solid team of professionals who have been on the other side, and they will guide you with it. So please get in touch with us, Prakash, if you're not already in touch with us, and we would love to help your son to make it into New Zealand and support him. And we also hope to see you and your family to pay a visit to New Zealand and see your son while he's studying here. And hopefully, once he gets his residency, maybe he'll come and spend a little longer time. All right, cool. All right, guys, for some reason, my throat is uh, troubling me today. I think I'm getting a cold. Okay, I'm going to answer one last question because my team has also started ringing the bell. I must start putting a bell here and and go, because that's the message they give me. I'm going to answer one last question from Sadiq, who is our student, and as I said, we are very proud to have him as one of our student clients, and who does really well and is a good role model. He says, "Hi Arun, just want to get a confirmation from you. If students like me who recently got an open work visa would need to reapply for extension with a new application fee, or it is going to be extended without application and free of cost." Good question. They have not published the instructions yet. So the instructions is the actual legal instruction that they have to publish as a requirement. So they have actually not come out with the instructions yet, but I suspect they're going to ask you to pay further fees. But I suspect it's also going to be quite a simple process. So again, like I said, we are providing that free of cost to our students. So get in touch with Mary, and we should be able to sort it out. But I suspect they'll ask you to pay a bit more of fee additionally. All right, cool. All right, guys. That's pretty much it. There are quite a lot of other questions, and it's good to see that uh, these sessions that I'm doing seem to be getting better traction. And there are uh, some very good queries that come in this, and some of my students, Kunal. Hey, Kunal. Sorry, I'm not able to. I had to scroll some before I saw your question, Kunal. So, Kunal, whatever your question is, just pick up the phone, speak to Mary, and if she's not able to give the information, she'll check back with me, or speak to Virginia. We'll do that. But lovely to see you, Kunal. Love your big smile, and so I will catch up soon, very quickly. Hope you're liking PIMS, by the way. Okay. So a lot of questions here still, and obviously I can do these sessions for 1 hour every week, and so I'm not able to cover all of them, unfortunately. I mean, I can probably do them if I can, keep giving very small, brief answers, but I don't think it's part of my personality to give small, brief answers. I like to explain things very clearly, which is probably why that more and more of you are coming to these sessions and participating in it. So, all those of you who have not been able to answer today, if you're an AGV student who is already onshore in New Zealand, please call and speak to Virginia, your customer service manager, or speak to Mary, our senior manager, or send me a text or whatever, and we will come back and answer you. Don't worry about that, guys, because I've just run out of time. I'm going to wind up. For those of you who are still planning to come to New Zealand and want to work with us and want some information further, it's very simple, guys. Just if you're based out of India, because a lot of my people who come on to this live broadcast are based out of India, just call the number 1-800-103-6525. That's the toll free number we set up for you guys to be able to call and get good information. If you're not in India or you prefer not to make a phone call, just send an email to info@ajvglobal.com, and I promise you we will get back to you almost immediately. So, apologies if I was not able to answer to some of your queries. There's also a limitation on my throat, unfortunately, and well, I will come back next week and answer more of your queries. But in the meantime, from now till next Tuesday, we will come back and answer each and every one of you. All right, guys. So that's pretty much it for this week. I'll come back and tell you what I've done last. Next time when I come, I'll tell you if I've been to more circuses or if I've done anything else crazy enough to laugh out. I seriously enjoyed it, guys. I'm telling you, if there is a circus playing in town, please go back and watch it. It is so much fun. It makes you go right back to your childhood all over again. All right. So thanks as always for watching my broadcast, and please share it with your family and friends. This is going to become videos and sitting on YouTube and Facebook. So appreciate all your support, and without you guys, we don't exist. But big thank you from the bottom of our hearts, from on behalf of my entire AJB team. Till the next time, Kakite Ano from Hamilton, New Zealand. Good night.